Nothing will go wrong.
All right. The morning has come to fruition. You have a few hours before you're supposed to arrive at the palace. You have been notified that this is a very formal event.
We'll need fancy robes.
Yes.
We have any more?
Oh, we have some formal dresses already.
Bullet roll if you could, please.
We do. We went shopping.
We went shopping. We already have pretty dresses.
I'm going to cast invisibility on Vax.
All right.
I hand the potion of climbing to Vax and say, "Don't die."
No promises.
You've got 1 hour till my invisibility is going to wear off. So find a shadow.
Yeah.
All right.
Good himself, yes.
Do you guys make yourselves known at the palace front?
Yes, we're friends here.
All right.
Yes.
As you approach, you make yourself known. The guards lead you to the front area of the palace.
I guess we should go and
Let's go mingle.
social.
Let's go mingle.
Yes.
All right. You guys head back out to the front of the palace, the large stairway that leads down into the central road outside of the palace in the middle of the Cloudtop district. The sky itself has now come to a dark purple blue, slowly moving over into the distant sunset. The sun has disappeared beneath the sea, and you've completed dusk as the sunset slowly turns cold. A dark wood carriage, flanked by 4 armored men on horseback, pulls onto the road right before the Tal'Dorei Palace. A young man steps from the front of the carriage and opens the door. Stepping out, you see a strong, tall man in the nearby lantern light. Short brown hair frame a very chiseled and handsome face, adorned with a well-groomed goatee. His clothing is based in blue and black, fitted elegance trimmed with golds and red, a strip of gray fur cresting over one shoulder framing his torso. He turns and extends his hand towards the door, where a feminine gloved hand finds it. A beautiful woman steps out after him. Her hair, dark auburn and pulled up into a tight braided bun, resembling some sort of a glamorous schoolteacher almost. Her gown is in the same color scheme as the man, if a bit heavier blue than black, and a long billowing skirt tapers up to be form-fitted across her body, continuing upward to wrap her neck nearly to the jaw. They both turn to face the greeting party, bowing slightly as 2 of their companion guards flank their approach up the steps. The other 2, helping the young man who steered the carriage, carry the rather large bags behind them. This is Lord Silas Briarwood and Lady Delilah Briarwood.
I'm Lady Briarwood. Ow! The man I broke the world for.
You broke it for me, baby.
That's right. You should say you are.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I'm Lord Briarwood.
Nice.
Yes. Undead. Betrothed.
That's
to you.
right.
Do you know
More
that
than betrothed.
people who are in love high five?
Nice.
We be representing the dead motherfuckers in this game.
I'm not dead.
Remember what we practiced. Be reserved, be charming, protocol.
The Briarwoods enter the palace. Their guards enter with them. There's been no pleasantry, and they're very much an intended arrival. None of you are recognizable to them, thus they make no intent of
We
introducing
catch any of
themselves.
their eye at all?
They appear to be looking about and taking in the surroundings, but they're both engaged in kind of a mumbled conversation between the 2 of them as they enter.
Sorry, if you brought weapons, they must be checked.
Tofor Brotoris is there, the female dragonborn paladin.
Oh, right.
She seems generally just not happy about the whole scenario, and she's not armored. She's dressed in what would be considered formal attire, but it's not a dress, it's not a suit, it's just kind of this asexual formal outfit that looks kind of like a robe but also like a suit, and she does not look to be happy in it at all, and it's just arms crossed, the far end back against the wall, just slowly stewing, not wanting to be there. You also see Arbiter Brom Goldhand, who is the Master of Law, was previously one of the heads of the guard there within Iman, and then was given the job of being the head of the Watchful Hall. He's the master of law, essentially, in the city, taking over that. And then, that's right, Tofor is master of defense that took over for Krieg after Krieg was slain. So yeah, so those are the council members. Most everyone else there seems servants. As time goes on, eventually there is the ringing of a dinner bell down the hallway, and everyone kind of turns their head and notices, and steps over to the great hall of the palace where the feast is to be given to you and other guests.
As we move, I release and then recast invisibility on him when I see that there's a moment where everyone's sort of
Alrighty,
distracted.
So you rejuvenate the invisibility spell.
From Craghammer, Grodim Greyspine. From him on, Vox Machina.
You make your way into the Great Hall, which is, it seats a vast number of people. There are 5 major tables meant for like large feasts, but there is one central square table on the far end that is by this giant hearth. This fireplace is probably a good 6 feet high and about 12 feet wide. It's a grandiose visual on the far end of this hall, and there's a long table right there set for about 20 people. You don't know if there'll be that many there at the table, but it can seat that many. At which point all the different members of the council have their seats around it. You guys find your seats.
Ahem! Vox Machina, champions of justice, hunters of dragons, destroyers of chastity.
Another servant steps forward and says, please, if we might rise for our guests, Lord and Lady Briarwood, to join us at the table.
Risen already. I'm standing already.
Lord and Lady Briarwood now enter arm in arm, slowly walking from the far end of the great hall. They make their way to one end of the table. They both wordlessly sit down smiling.
From Whitestone, Lord Silas and Lady Delilah Briarwood.
The Sovereign finishes writing some papers, rolls them up, snaps twice, and the gentleman comes by and he hands them papers and says, "Give these to Lady and Lord Briarwood as soon as possible, thank you." All right, so, first of all, I want to welcome you all back. It's been a few weeks since we've seen each other. I've been recently given word that you so unceremoniously appeared in the center of the Lyceum, not but 12 hours ago. Worse for wear. So, I would like to know, first off, why you've returned in the center of our city, and I want to see how your well-being has been these past few weeks. I apologize, I'm a bit scattered. I've had a few things on my mind as of late. And would all, please, attention be given to our sovereign, Uriel Taldore II, and the Empress Salda Taldore. At which point, the sovereign and his wife enter from the same entrance point. Everyone stands up from their chair, waits for them to get to the edge of the table, at which point they kind of nod their head. Everyone gives a low bow. You guys kind of follow suit, kind of following the social graces you're not familiar with, but trying to learn as you go, except for Tiberius. You know this deal. And you all kind of like follow his lead on this. Eventually, everyone sits down again. Tables are pushed in by servants behind you. You're kind of like, oh, kind of caught off guard by the whole experience.
Shit's about to get real.
At which point Uriel looks about the table with a smile. His shoulder-length brown hair and his kind of chin goatee, very well crafted into almost like a point now. He looks about the table. Thank you, Lord and Lady Briarwood, for making the journey across the lands so that we might meet in person finally. Please, allow me to introduce our dining party and esteemed council of Taldore.
Percy! Percy! Percy!
He's just staring like a perv.
Don't forget to subscribe to
TP Burrow.